Incredible flavours, even better stories. One pour, 10 minutes. Aussie bourbon lovers sharing bourbon with Australia.
Another poplar start.
I know. It feels so weird not having a pop at the start of that episode.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Tell me about what this episode is, H. It's another extraordinary episode, and it's extra long too.
Yeah, it is a little bit long, this one, so maybe get yourself an extra pour. But today we chat to Ashley, and she takes us through the amazing, I call it magic, but you can view it like someone's a chef or the recipes or however you want to say it, but she takes us through the process of blending bourbon. And we actually got to do it last September, wasn't it?
It was.
That she, at the blending house, and it was amazing.
So Ashley Barnes is a master blender. We won't waste your time too much talking about too much stuff, but effectively probably almost all the bourbons you've ever had have been blended somehow, unless it was a single barrel. Master blenders or blenders will take a bunch of barrels, blend them together to make them taste exactly the way they should. And if you've had a Maker's Mark or a Buffalo Trace or an Eagle Rare, you're tasting an expression that should taste consistent. So they're blending to a particular style or a particular profile. And that's what blenders do.
Well, they find that consistency by, taking the barrels that taste more vanilla and putting them in the barrels that taste more oaky, and they have to get it to keep that brand's, like, I suppose, their profile, their flavour profile. But I think too, like talking to Ashley, the fact that there was different ways she talked about how, like you can, as a blender, you can come up with lots of different fun new blends if you're not sticking to the brand profile. So
that's what this is.
Such a great job, and she got to share a little bit with us, so it was wonderful.
So follow along. This is her teaching us a bit about how she blends and how she groups and blends and makes a whiskey expression. Enjoy.
We're very excited to be here today at the Blending House with a very special guest. Thanks for hosting us. This is Ashley Barnes, who's the master blender here at the Blending House.
And we're doing something crazy.
Yes.
This is not just tasting one of your pours.
It is. It was meant to be for you guys to be here today, because I was going to run in and do this real quick. I was like, no. You guys would really enjoy it and appreciate kind of the process that we go through.
Right.
So this is the process I do for EJ Curley, for Lucky 7, or really any brand that I work with. And so very square one is I'll actually evaluate. I look at every barrel. Once I do that, then I'll take those barrels and I'll start working with them. And so that's kind of where these actual 18 barrels, it was supposed to be a 20-barrel blend, and this was a different project, but I have blending classes to teach next week, and I need some more liquid to share with the consumers that are coming to my classes. So I have gone through, and through evaluation, I've isolated certain flavors and compounds. And once I've done that, then I get to see, well, how can blending affect that? How can blending put it together so that it highlights the barrel itself in the best way? And so these 18 barrels were then separated. So yesterday I did day one, and day one is simply putting them in their groups. So blend one are just the three main groups. We've got a base flavor profile, we've got a fruit flavor profile, and a top note. So that's a very predominantly on the nose.
Yep.
Characters I really want to come through. Blend two, however, I've broke those out even more. So you see there's lots more.
Yep.
So we've got a vanilla base. So there were some barrels that were in here that were very vanilla forward. Yep. And then the standard base, and this is what I want to build the foundation of this blend on. Fruit, I kept the same, but then on the top notes, there were some barrels that were very apple forward.
Yep.
And I thought that would be really cool to bring forward. And so this is blend two. Yeah, so blend two has it all broken out. But just like anything else we do, if we're working with like a team, a baseball team or a football team or whatever it may be, you're going to have barrels that are like really good at all the things.
Yep.
That's your single barrel.
Yeah.
Because they don't always play well with others.
Yep.
Sometimes single barrels work great in blends, but a lot of times they've got all the components. They're not open to making those new chemical bonds and creating those flavors. So we joke that like my second is he's kind of a single barrel.
Yep.
I'm not real sure how well he's going to do with others. But you kind of look at it, you start to look at it from a more chemical standpoint, things make a little more sense. So the third blend is a very popular technique called the dump and pray.
Yep.
And that's all of them blended together at barrel strength at the same time.
Yep.
Nothing, no flavor compounds are isolated, nothing's highlighted, split apart. So what we're doing today, that you guys are going to help me with,
Yay!
is we are combining on blend 1 the 3 groups, and then on blend 2 we're combining the 5 groups, all at barrel strength, and then tomorrow I will cut them all to 90 proof.
Wow.
Great.
So technically we could cut the blend 3 to 90 proof, but I'll just wait and do it all at one time tomorrow.
Yep.
Great.
So we could even taste a couple of them if you wanted.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds
She's
wonderful.
like, yes, please let us.
I just want to know,
yes.
like, what are the rules to where you begin separating them and amounts to blend and?
So I blend because I'm not a fan of pulling partial barrels.
Yep.
I know from production, it's crazy on paperwork, but also use the entire barrel. There's going to be variations. Some barrels are going to have more, some are going to have less.
Yep.
So when I'm doing lab blends, I typically use the same volume. If I needed to make at least 2 750s of each of these. So I backed into it. Because I had done this before, I can always estimate what the blend's proof's going to be. And know, okay, I need to make 1,300 milliliters of this blend, and when I add the water to cut it to proof, I'm going to have enough for 2 750s.
Yep.
Or, I can back into it in that way. If I'm just doing exploratory work, I usually make about 100 or 200 mils of a total blend.
Yep.
That way I'm not using a ton of liquid, because I want to reserve it. I want it to stay in that barrel, and I want it to go to the consumer. I don't want to use all the liquid doing research or developing something. But, and then once I have that, if I need to make more, I can.
Yep.
But mostly I'll do 100, 200 mil blends for R&D, and then this one was actually the blend was completed, barrels were sold. I was going to make some marketing samples or something, and we ended up not doing that. So I had these already pulled at 750s. So then I get to I'll always use those for classes so that we're still using them and nothing's going to waste.
Yep.
Great.
So,
Cool.
yeah. So all this is barrel strength. The really cool thing is these particular blends are like around 107, 109. They're a lower blend. So
That's fun.
let's do a base and a vanilla base. So we'll do all the base and the vanilla base. So one of the things I've been looking into, because we've discussed this, I'm a nerd. And when I get 5 minutes to myself after the boys have gone down, this is where my brain goes. I was like, okay, so how lignin conversions create the vanillin? Right? Lignin's your base that the chemical reactions can lead into vanillin. I was like, but corn plays a role in that too. And I had seen an article on it. And I was like, all right, how's this playing a role? Well, it's the sweetness from the corn. Kind of like salt on your food.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The sweetness is what allows us to perceive the vanillin flavor, like vanilla bean or Madagascar vanilla or Mexican vanilla. Without it, it's not as clear. So it's like the supporting role. So if you're looking at your mash bill and you want it to have a very pronounced vanilla flavor, you need to have that corn in there to help pronounce it.
Yep.
Right.
Otherwise, it can get more lost,
Right.
and the vanilla becomes a supporting actor for something else.
Right.
Like I said, this is what I do when
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
5
this
minutes
is-
to myself.
This is so fun.
So yeah.
And how are you always blending from the same mash bill, or is it sometimes you blend from different mash bills? Depends on what you're doing.
So that is one of the coolest things and best parts about being a blender. I'm not obligated to stay with a single mash bill. So because we blend, Lucky 7 and EJ Curly are all Kentucky straight bourbon.
Yep.
They have to be from Kentucky, and they have to fit within the bourbon parameters. Outside of that, I don't have to stay with the same mash bill. I can use barrels with lower rye and still hit the profile, or a higher rye content and still hit the flavor profile of either EJ Curly or Lucky 7. Wow. So as starting off as an NDP, that gave us a flexibility in there, and an ability to use ages and maturation rates and things to manipulate and do what we needed to do with what was available at a price point that helped us to keep our prices affordable. And we had a very good source. We didn't have to do that, but I've done it for other people through consulting. And it's also just to have in your back pocket to be able to do. And that's one thing I wish more people saw, is that we're not evil blenders. We're not doing anything that's gonna mess with anything. We're helping distillers be able to prolong their current inventory. Or be able to, this isn't tasting the same anymore. Well, you need to get a little bit younger juice, or the components are not there for this to age past about 5 years old. So if you're wanting to release a 10-year-old, you need to rework whichever your business plan or your barrel inventory.
So you can help them when their barrels are younger to kind of know which ones are going to be good when they're older. Yeah,
so I can be like, hey, these have all the work, all the components. They will age better. But I can also say, you're not going to hit the traditional bell curve about 5 years old. It's going to take a nosedive. And I did that with some barrels we had. I don't remember having that conversation. I remember thinking it multiple times. But I guess I at some point thought it out loud to Monica. And I told her, I was like, these aren't going to work for this. It's not going to be. They are out of the profile, and they're going to nosedive quickly. And she's like, you called that. And so what are you talking about? I've slept since then. I've had a baby since then. What's going on?
Lots of things have happened since then.
And so she said, you said these would...
You're like a fortune teller in the bourbon world.
I have a super secret power of predicting the future. So, sorry, I just using that chemistry base as a tool, and then I've profiled. I've looked at barrels and okay, these are going to be single barrels, or these are going to go for a small batch, or these are going to go for this product or that product. I did it for years with big companies, big bourbon companies, and was able to learn from living legends, from people who I respect more than anything, on just not their expertise, but just as humans. Because not just everyone's going to take someone under their wing and teach them. And I was so fortunate to have that opportunity at both Four Roses and Buffalo Trace. To work with people who are very willing to teach and educate and allow me the opportunity to take and do my own. Here's the base. Take it where you want. As long as I got my work done.
And that must be so exciting for you now to do this. As your own company.
It was really cool. Actually, we need to invite him back out. Before the blending facility was done, we invited Jim Rutledge out. And so Jim came out, hung out with us in the construction trailer, and walked around the rick houses. So to bring him to my facility and to show that off.
So cool.
It was so cool. And it was it just made my heart so happy. And he's still a friend. I text him, call him. I still talk to a lot of individuals. I'm like, it's just a phone call away. And if I'm having a difficult situation or issue, just give them a call, because they've got 50 plus years. And so I wouldn't trade it for anything, because that's, I'd hang out at the guys running the still, because that guy's been running that still for 30 years, knows way more than anyone else. And it was just really cool to get that opportunity, and now to be able to share that knowledge. Cool. All right, so what I think we need to taste first is we will taste this base. That is what I would consider all the base barrels in this blend together. And they've rested for 24 hours.
Thank you.
And so this blend should be very balanced. It should be balanced. It may not have an amazing nose. It may not, but it should be solid. It's just a nice foundation to build on. Still very sweet.
It's definitely sweet.
Very sweet.
And nice. Yeah.
And then it's got those kind of toasty bits, toasted pecans.
Yeah.
Coming in.
The That's delicious.
Yeah.
It's quite yummy.
It is quite delightful.
Yeah, I mean, it could be my cold, but I feel like the nose has a little lacking.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
not
like to
strong
build
on the
that
nose.
up a little bit and possibly even brighten it up. But this is the base. This is the starting point. You know, this is barrels that have been isolated for those components. So
That's fun.
Great, because that's the base. How
that's
fun.
the base.
So that's the base. So you take that and you go, because like as an artist, I mix paints, and so it's like this is the color, and
Now I know that.
a bazillion different colors I can get from just 2 colors.
Yes.
It's where do you even begin to go with this to get a flavor? Like, yeah,
It is so similar, and I'm so excited to get it. Because I never know which direction take it. Baking, take it painting.
Painting.
Take it, like, what's going to make sense to people. So if you're using like cold tones or
Yep.
warm tones, think of your tones as your mash bills.
yep,
Kind of that, okay, this is a higher rye. We want to keep that spice.
Yep.
We want to keep those flavors that go in that direction.
yep.
So
So if your base is sweet, now like what are you thinking of adding to that?
this is where for this first one, I isolated the fruit and the top notes.
Yep.
But what we're going to taste is how I divided that base out.
Yep.
And this one actually, these barrels went a little wonky and didn't do the normal track, which is also why I use it for this because it's just kind of fun. So this
We
is
like
a
fun.
blend. This is a blend of the barrels that were very vanilla forward. So these, we separated those out, and then the others that had vanilla or maybe were not quite as forward.
Okay.
So right
Yeah.
off the
Yes,
nose,
definitely. Yeah.
it's like a vanilla paste on the nose.
Yep.
Yeah.
All these barrels were used in the first one. There are no different barrels, no different volumes.
Yep.
I just put, I think it was, so the vanilla beans, there were 4 barrels.
Okay.
4 barrels were blended together to get the vanilla base, and this one was 2, 4, 6, and then
like
6
vanilla
made the other.
cupcakes. Yeah.
You can get birthday cake flavor without ever adding any flavoring through blending.
Through blending. The magic of blending.
I'm sure I don't add flavors
Yep.
because you can hit those flavors if you
With the right
just-
blends.
the right blends and right barrels. You just
You're right, it's like you are the Wizard of Oz.
I've been called witchy woman, magic hands.
Magic. All the secret stuff that happens behind the curtain.
I think it was a few years ago when Big Chief was doing the Bourbon Road before he was no longer with them. Like the intro song was Witchy Woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, y'all are fun. I was like, but at least it's about my blending ability, not
Something
other
else.
things.
Yeah.
Like vanilla cupcakes. And so now what do you do? That you've got that, like, as in...
So now I've got those set
Yep.
aside. So now I can do I just want to make this a smaller blend and use just that?
Just vanilla.
Because it's also kind of bitter and tart.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
finish.
it leaves
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Kind of like a dark chocolate,
Right.
like not quite astringent and drying, but like a
It's not
A
too
fruit
tart.
pith.
Yeah.
like that tart bitter
Yeah.
note.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of it. Like either go astringent and be bitter like dark chocolate, or be a little sour. But I don't like that little in between.
Yep.
So that's actually probably why this didn't work out as like the most delicious one. So then these are the other barrels, the 6 remaining barrels blended together for the base.
Okay.
And I put the vanilla forward ones together because I wanted them to be a stronger vanilla presence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was the goal.
Oh, that's completely different. It's like you get the oaky flavour in that.
Yeah.
A little more nice
nuttiness or
tannins.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leather.
Yep.
And it's more on the front of the palate too. The other 2 hit the back. And this one's very more
Right on that tip of your tongue. Mm-hmm. Whereas the
And it's
vanilla one
quick.
was right. Yeah,
quick, no finish.
it's gone.
But yet, the 2 you just tasted are what made up that first one.
Wow.
This is so fun. You must have so much fun in here.
I do, but what's even more fun is when I can get to like do this with other people
Yeah.
and show them what's going on
We're glad
behind
we
the
get to
scenes.
meet the other people
Yeah.
today. But like, yeah,
It's like, and that's why I do this class or this session when I have the opportunity, is because I will put these 3 blends in front of people and we'll taste them and we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
And like, what do you like? What do you don't like? depending on the group, we'll go deep or we'll go very surface level. And then I'm like, okay, so here's a fun fact. These are the exact same 18 barrels used in the exact same volume. The only difference is the technique used in blending.
Wow.
And the light bulbs go off, the minds are blown, watching them just, that is why blending is so important.
Yep.
Right.
It is why we've been around for years. And I get why people had this stigma with, oh, it's blended, it's got the NGS, it's got all this not so good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're still blending bourbon, we're still blending whiskey.
Yep.
You're mixing those two flavors together to create a better...
And then I like isolating things and kind of breaking it down to its bare components and then building back up. So with these 3 blends, like I said, this is not really the norm, but it does happen, and why I always test. Always test. The dump and pray method actually is quite nice. And then the first one actually was probably 50-50 between the dump and pray and that one. And the preferred flavor profile. If I had used this for a blend, it would have been the dump all at once. So my production brain's like, yes.
That makes your job easier.
Super simple, easy, dump and go. But typically when you build out those profiles, you get a nice, more well-rounded, smoother. But it also proof to show the same techniques won't be used every time. If we're dumping 6 months later, I might need to just break them into general components to achieve that consistency. Or maybe I need to break it down even further. Go to specifically apple flavors or peach flavors or marmalade or spice. It just depends on where those barrels are and their reactions and what's going to...
And when you get the blend that you think it meets the flavor profile that you like or the one that you want, what's the process then of like, do you just make that decision or do a few people taste it or do you come back and taste it again a few days later and make sure it's what you want?
One of the really cool things about having this facility now is it is not on me.
It's
not 1,000,000% on me. I'll crack the door open and go, y'all want to taste something? And no one ever turns me down. Monica comes through, she'll taste. Anyone that's here. And as I mentioned, we've got a few people who live close that work in the industry, and I'll shoot an email out, hey, I've got something set out, if you can taste. And I was so proud to figure out how to set up a Google form. I am not technologically good. It's me and computers are not friends. But they fill out the Google form, it fills me, feeds me all the information, and I can kind of look at that and see, this person I know smokes cigarettes, but so is he in line with everybody else, or is he like a complete outlier? This person I know has a phenomenal palate, very sensitive, and is developing how to communicate it. What do they say? So it also tells me training wise how I can help on that. But also it's just a really good opportunity to check people who would be our consumers.
That's an amazing process, and thank you so much for sharing it with us today.
All right. Well, before we sit down and do an interview, do you want to do a little blending? Because I need to put these together so I don't forget about it. Go pick up a kid and forget about it. So help me out.
Yeah, we'll help for sure.
I'm going to move the notebook. I always forget to do that and then I spill all over it. So how steady is your hand?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
I'm going to say pretty good.
I have a nice white marker I always write on, and it broke yesterday.
Oh, no.
And I was like, but that would look so good for film. So all we need to do, so we've got blend 1 base, blend 1 fruit.
Okay.
Did you want to taste these guys? The fruit in the top real quick before we blend them?
Oh. What do you want to do, Dave?
Up to
No,
you.
we're happy to blend.
I know we're using a lot of time, and so all we're going to do is just pour these guys in here, and then I'll let them sit.
Great.
Okay, I'll go blend 1 with the fruit, Dave, and you can go
Just pour it in there.
pour it in.
Yeah.
Do this second.
And then...
Oh, you don't need that steady a hand. I can do that. I was worried that I wouldn't have a steady enough hand.
Yeah, we're doing bigger blends so the mouth is open.
Yeah.
But you see these up here, these
Oh, yeah,
100
see,
mils?
that's-
Those are fun.
Oh, yeah.
Those are real fun.
Yeah, a bit of spilling happening going on there.
Well, yesterday...
So can I give myself a title blender now, or what's the process?
Blender. There you go. Blender in training. Because now you've had a little lesson as to why we're doing what we're doing too. And it's just like in school.
Amazing.
Like we can tell you how to do it, but if you don't understand why, I think that helps you understand it and you become better, and then you also retain it. It's not just dumping stuff in. There's so much more to it. Do you have to be a chemist to blend? No. Does it help? Yeah. Even if you just understand the basics.
Yeah.
It's like, my friend that's a mechanical engineer. He understands the general concept of it, but then when I'm like, but I'm looking for these flavors, he's like, so I have my sensory team study pure vanillin.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that's not what your consumer's getting. But he's not concerned with selling product. He makes, things that help the industry achieve that end.
Yep.
So for him, it's more important to know specifically pure compounds.
Yep.
But for me, artificial vanilla, vanilla bean paste, Mexican vanilla, all three mean different things to me when I'm evaluating a barrel and how it's going to react in blending.
Yeah.
So they just blaze
Final
one.
flavor.
And one of the things I also do is I allow those to set minimum 12 hours, depending on how many barrels, but minimum 12 hours, preferably 24.
Yep.
So that's going to allow all those chemical reactions happening right now to happen naturally in their state. I'm not forcing them to go quicker. Because if you think if you're running a marathon versus a sprint, you're not going to want to carry something very heavy, and a lot of the more flavorful compounds and sugars, pretty big compounds. So, as kind of a just a way to look at it, you want to allow it time. There's already an exothermic reaction happening just in ethanol in general, especially when you cut it. Water and ethanol, you always pour water into the ethanol, never the other way around.
So you'll come back tomorrow and taste that?
I'll taste it. If this were a new blend that I was experimenting with, I would taste it. And then once I'm happy with it, then I'll start playing with the proof. And I might proof, I'll get to a range that I'm lingering around, or I know we want to do a 90 proof. And I'll do like 91, 92, 93, 94. I typically know about where it's going to be from tasting the barrel strength. And then I will narrow it down by one proof or half proof even. Until I find where it pops.
The best spot.
And it'll be like, there's your sweet spot.
Is it really obvious? Like, can you tell? It's like it's not close. It's like, nah, that's the one.
It's like if you're watching something do a color change reaction, and then all of a sudden your yellow is blue.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's like, it's obvious.
Right.
It is super, super obvious because you're like, that 92 tastes way better than the 95.
Yeah.
Or the 95 is smoother than the 92. Because there's your pop. And it's like, even at different proofs, it tastes like a different product.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So we're going to do the same thing.
Right,
over
just
here.
pour them all in.
We're pouring them all in.
Ooh, I'm going to go the vanilla one.
There you go.
I really like that flavour.
It was so good, wasn't it? It's a cupcake in a jar.
Yeah, I know, it is. It's like birthday cake bourbon.
Ooh. I had a bartender tell me one time for Lucky Seven's holiday toast, she thanked me. And I'm like, why? She said, I was always so embarrassed because I always took Fireball to like parties and things. And she's like, I'm not 20 anymore. And so people would make fun of me. And I'm like, okay. She said, I finally found the adult version. I said, that won't give you quite the hangover.
Yeah, you'll feel a bit better after that.
But I always thought that was funny.
I've left the three little ones for you.
The adult version.
The adult version.
And the fact that I did so much Fireball when I was at 18.
Can relate.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I was like, I never really thought about it like that. But yeah, it's very cinnamon forward.
Yeah.
The goal of that product when I created it was a limited release for the holidays.
Yep.
So that was what I was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
In that white oak. But then it took off.
I
love it.
Yeah.
Good bourbon, but it's not limited. Well, as in, we can still get it. It's good.
No, it's actually our number one seller. It immediately went to the regular profile or portfolio, and we've kept it around because it's, people love it. And I had some ladies from Kansas City in a session I was teaching the other day, said it makes really good barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I was like, why have I not thought to put that in barbecue sauce yet?
Yeah.
I made it with EJ Curly. I've made it with other expressions.
Yep.
I was like, that makes so much sense.
That's so amazing.
Oh, that's funny.
And leave it Kansas City to...
Yeah.
Oh, now I gotta go do it. All right, so like I said, these will all sit and mellow overnight, and I will cut them to 90 proof tomorrow. And just because we haven't done it yet, and this one has set, and then we'll do
that's the one you did yesterday.
So this is. We fondly call, the dump and prep. This was all the barrels at the same time. And it sometimes works out, sometimes a lot of times it doesn't.
Like sometimes take the win, and other times you'll be like,
What I like to tell people too, it's like baking a cake. If you don't follow the directions in order, it'll flop.
yeah.
And I like to think my hands in it gives that grandma's love,
Yeah.
or mom's love into it that you just can't recreate. But I can't bake. I can blend. I can do chemistry, so I should be able to. I can't bake. No, my brother was able to keep my mom's sourdough starter alive that she's had alive since before he was born, so 40 plus years.
Yeah.
No. Person considered an expert in yeast and all these things. No.
And imagine you have to keep very good records of everything because you don't want to get to the, like you said before, where you throw all the flour and everything in to bake a cake and then it's really good and you're like, I can't remember what I used to do that. You'd have to keep track of your...
Yeah.
So I just started a new notebook.
All the details.
All the details. So this one's not as good, but I have the blends wrote out, what barrels were used for each.
Yep.
Day 2 I did this, day 3 I did that.
Yeah.
So I'll show you in a minute.
A lot of datas and amounts and...
I have no problem showing my notebooks.
So fun. It's so fun. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And
a little behind the scenes, how we
behind the
get
scenes.
What goes in the bottle that you guys get
how
to
you
see.
make the good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
good.
thank you so much.
Maria.
Cheers.
Cool.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
And Maria.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're connected with us on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and stay connected with us by clicking subscribe on your favourite podcast app.